What if I told you there was a simple process to motivate you to finish creative projects? What if I told you that the process includes just 5 simple steps that you can easily learn in today's video? And what if I explained this process in this video so that you can use it today to get started, to work on your projects, and to move towards completion? Hi, I'm Dr. B. I'm a creativity researcher, a professor, and the founder of the Sisterhood of Questing Queens. Welcome. I became a college professor at the age of 49. I completed my PhD at 61, and I published my first book at 65, so I understand where you are and where you want to go. The process that I'm going to explain to you today is something that I've been using for years, and you probably have too, but you didn't realize it. I think it stems back to our elementary school education. At that time, we were told, do your homework. You had to bring in your homework the next day. That was a due date. Later on, things got a little bit more complicated. In high school, you might have been studying for a test or writing a research paper. The test has a date when that is going to be administered, and a paper has a due date as well. But what I realized later in life was that due dates are a great way to motivate you. And yet, having projects, working on art, whatever art form you're working in, sometimes we don't think in terms of a due date, a deliverable. When there's something that you really want to finish, you know that if you give yourself a deadline, chances are you're going to finish it. Now, this deadline, this due date, cannot be something internal. It works much better when you make it a little bit public. Confession time here. I have been working on a t-shirt quilt for my daughter-in-law for about 6 years. When she moved here to be with my son, she brought with her a stack of nearly 70 different t-shirts representing different activities that she had been involved with from the time she was very little until when she met my son. She and I talked about this t-shirt quilt, and I said, "Oh yeah, I can do that, no problem." But then life happens. You know the story. I worked on it from time to time. We organized the different shirts into categories: Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, high school, band, college. You get the idea. I watched a video and I thought I knew what I was doing. I bought the fusible backing. I started ironing on the pieces, and then life happened. I think I had to go back to teaching, and I just didn't have the time to devote to the project, so I put it aside. But here's what happened. About 3 weeks ago, my daughter-in-law reminded us that she was going to be visiting in order to host a bachelorette party for a friend of hers. And she would be arriving Thursday night and not staying long because the party was about an hour from our house and she had to go and prepare for it. But this gave me the due date. So I pulled out all the pieces of the project and started working on it again. This brings us to the first element in how to get things done in this simple framework. I call the process the BRAID Compass. A compass gives you direction. It helps you to navigate. And the letters of the word BRAID stand for begin, reflect, act, invite, and deliver. So now that I had a due date in mind, I could begin in earnest on completing this project. And when you're working on a creative project, we often begin without really knowing what we're making, who we're making it for, or even how to make it. That's okay. Just begin. After you begin, then I want you to take a moment, take a day, and in my case, was it 4 years? Don't take that long. To reflect. You can reflect mentally. Often I go for a walk and then my brain starts ticking away, thinking about what is my next step. You can reflect on paper. It's often very useful to journal about it. Take out a piece of scrap paper, the back of an envelope, a post-it note, it doesn't matter. But after you have begun, reflect. Reflect about who you're making this thing for. Are you making it for yourself? That's a beautiful thing to do. Or are you making it as a gift? Are you making it so that you can enter a contest? Doesn't matter. Reflect on what it is that you're doing, who you're making it for, and then answer those questions. Why? Why are you doing it? Why is often really hard, but it can be foundational in giving you the momentum to keep going. Then A is for act. Now, here's where the action comes into play. For the t-shirt quilt, the action came about 3 weeks ago when I pulled out all of the different pieces that I had started and I reached for the bias tape that I was going to use to stitch all the blocks together. The video that I watched, it was super simple. She took the backed quilt and the piece of batting and then the back side, and she just edged it into this double-sided bias tape. Double-sided, I thought. Really, it was a special product that is double-edged. And I had bought the wrong bias tape. The clock was ticking. I thought, do I really need to put these pieces together that way? Or can I simply stitch them together like I've done over and over again? And so I proceeded. My action was to keep going. The next step in the process is to invite. And depending on what your product is, depending on what you're working on, the invitation can be both formal and informal. And mine was kind of an implied invitation with the arrival of my daughter-in-law. We knew that she'd be coming Thursday at night, probably after 8 p.m., to our house. So an invitation usually includes time, specific, day and hour, and a place. In our case, it was our living room. And now that I had that invitation, I had the motivation to keep going. I went back to my workroom. I started sewing all the blocks together. And I kept going. The invitation gives you the time and the place to figure it out and keep going. The last phase is D for deliver. Once you have the invitation, you have the due date, the time, and the place, then everything has to come together in order to manifest the product so that you can deliver it. Think about it. We begin often before we're ready. Then we reflect. Maybe we need to take a step back and develop a plan. Think about why you're doing it. Then act, action. We can only take action here and now. Invite at least one person to be the recipient. And part of the invitation must have a due date, a time, day, hour, and a specific place. Then you will do everything in your power in order to deliver. You should have seen me 2 days before my daughter-in-law arrived. I was madly sewing. I think I spent 6-7 hours each day. On Thursday evening, when my daughter-in-law arrived at our house, I invited her into our living room where there was a nice big box waiting for her. She had no idea what was inside that box, but I was able to deliver. So the BRAID Compass gives you direction, gives you navigation, gives you a tool. B, begin. R, reflect. A, act. I, invite. D, deliver. If you think about this compass, it can give you the navigation to finish creative projects of all different sizes. If you've gotten something valuable in this video, please consider subscribing, give it a thumbs up. Please like this video, share it with a friend, a fellow sister questing queen, and please comment. I respond to every single comment. Appreciate you being here. Welcome home, sister. Where will your quest take you today?